Now, I know you're a huge Nick Park fan anyway.
Who isn't?
Well, exactly. Who in their right mind isn't? So this is the latest from Aardman, directed by Nick Park, and always expectations are big for this sort of thing. So the film starts with a Ray Harryhausen type show reel of marauding dinosaurs on the Earth, early Earth, being wiped out by a meteor. Remember there's that thing, The Good Dinosaur, when the meteor missed and then the whole of the rest of the film was really boring? Well, in this case, the meteor hits and wipes out the dinosaurs, and then you have several millennia ahead. Oh, actually, what happens is after the meteor hits, little fragments of hot rock are kicked around by very, very early man. This is it's not historically accurate in terms of the other things living together, and they kick it around in something which looks unsurprisingly like something that we might all know now. And so then go forward several thousands of years. The meteor crater has blossomed into this lush, verdant valley in which our Stone Age heroes are living a happy rabbit hunting existence, never knowing that their ancestors, many ago, had this experience with the meteor, blah, 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 blah. Then, along, out of nowhere, comes Lord Nooth, who is a metal-loving tyrant who arrives in this great big thing, which essentially looks like a sort of robotic mammoth, and declares, "The age of stone is over," in a bad accent. "Long lives the age of bronze." And
it's Christoph Waltz again.
It's Christoph Waltz, yeah. No. And the tribe are then driven out into the Badlands. However, Doug, who is our hero, makes it to the city of bronze, where he realises that football is a really big deal. Real Bronzio are the big team, and he decides that the way he might get his valley back is to challenge these newcomer upstarts to a football match.
We challenge the champions!
Huh? What did you say?
He said, we
I heard what he said.
If we win, we keep our valley. You leave my tribe in peace.
You think you can beat us at football? A match between the bronze and the brutes? What an idea!
Sacrilege, O Premier Leader!
Yes, quite.
The masses would flock to see such a vulgar spectacle. Teh!
Very good. I haven't seen it, but I'm looking forward
You're
to
laughing already. Okay, so, the voice cast includes Eddie Redmayne, Maisie Williams, Tom Hiddleston, Tim Spall, and they're all tip-top. So basically the story is that, they're going to have to play this game, but of course all of Doug's tribespeople, they don't know how to play football, so they have to be taught how to play football by Guna, who is brilliantly the girl who understands. I don't...
Called Guna?
Really?
And
there we go, and then we lost Simon Mayo, and even I understood why that happened. So,
how disappointing.
the thing about this film is, every time you go into an Aardman film, and every time you look at anything that's it's got Nick Park's thumbprints all over it, and I use that sort of, very deliberately, your expectations are very high, and there's always the possibility of, your expectations being crushed. And this is a big, ambitious project. In fact, it employs CGI to add that sort of sense of stadium grandeur. But most importantly, the sort of primary animation, the stuff that you're actually looking at, it has that stop motion tactility, that feeling of thumbprint, that feeling of something that is being made physically by people. You can actually, you can feel the physical presence of it, and I love that. I love that. No matter how big the expanse, no matter how wide the world, no matter how broad the ambition, it still has that slightly homemade feel, which I really, really like. The best thing, however, is that these are movies that are genuinely funny in a way that I find so few movies are. I've this whole thing about the 6 laugh test came out of me saying, well, I've got a tin ear for comedy and I don't laugh enough at comedy movies. In the case of this, it has that Aardman thing of the mixture of the end of the pier fnar humour, gags about tackle and bumps off toilet roll and things like that. On the other hand, it has this sort of timeless sense of slapstick comedy, which is derived from Buster Keaton and Harold Lloyd and the great physical comedians of the silent era. It also seems to me that the entire Aardman team as a whole at some point sat down and watched the Donald O'Connor's Make 'em Laugh routine from Singing in the Rain and said, take that as a textbook. The story about, make them like do this thing and then do that thing, then you get a great big custard pie in the face. That all the time you're balancing the stuff which is erudite with the stuff which is goofy and, walking into a pane of glass and doing it brilliantly, because something that Aardman have always managed to do is physicality is absolutely at the heart of what they do. I started laughing right at the beginning of the film. Right at the beginning of the film, we had the dinosaurs and we had the sort of nods to Harryhausen, and I thought, okay, this is fun. It's going to be sort of chucklesome opening, but possibly it's not going to keep it up, and it did keep it up. It kept me laughing all the way through, and I saw it in a screening. There was only 2 people. There was me and one other person who was enjoying it. But I don't think they were enjoying it quite as much as I was, and I started to become self-conscious about how much I was laughing and how much I was laughing out loud, and how much it was evident that if there was laughter in the room, it was me, because it was literally me and this other person, and that didn't put a dampener on it at all. I came out of the screening, I had a spring in my step and a smile on my face. I don't think it's Curse of the Were-Rabbit, which I still think is the absolute high watermark, but then that's like saying, well, Orson Welles after Citizen Kane never made Citizen Kane. But I really enjoyed it. I really thought it looked funny. I know, as you know, I know absolutely nothing about football. And so part of me was worried that if I go and see a film in which there is a sort of football theme, is it just going to lose me? No, it didn't. Because Nick Park said at one point, he described it as being like Gladiator meets Dodgeball. But in fact, for me, it was more Gregory's Girl meets 1 million years BC via Escape to Victory. And somehow it makes all that work, because the voice gags are funny, because the visual gags are funny, because it's like End of the Pier, but also like Music Hall, because it has a sense of silent comedy and cine literacy, but it's not scared of just making really, really sort of straightforward somebody walks into a wall gag. And I really enjoyed it. And I know that there's loads of stuff that I won't have noticed on first viewing, that I'll have to go back and see it a second time. And there's no heaviness in my heart about that at all. I just want to watch it again, go, oh, I missed that, and I missed that, and I missed that, and I missed that. Loved it.